I secretly studied my senior brother's Tyrant blade technique when all the senior brothers left deep marks on the ancient meteorite. I was itching to give it a try after everyone left. I picked up a nearby branch and mimicked their moves, then gathered strength and struck the meteorite with all my might, but found not even a scratch was left on its surface. At that moment, I doubted if I had any talent for martial arts. Just as I turned away in disappointment, the ancient meteorite began to glow with golden markings. In the next second, a surge of blade energy burst out, piercing through the entire training ground. A grandmaster 1,000 miles away was nearly sliced in half. Such terrifying power made him instantly realize the destined wielder of the Tyrant blade had appeared. But I knew nothing of this, still being bullied by my senior brothers, always alongside my mother, just because my mother was a lowly palace maid. From birth, I had no status as a prince. We lived worse than servants, scavenging for leftover buns from swill every day. Even the emperor saw me as a disgrace, though my mother and I lived cautiously in the palace. The empress and crown prince still found excuses to humiliate us. They never imagined one day they would kneel before us and beg for mercy. Soon the grandmaster and emperor gathered all the princes, because only by finding the destined wielder of the Tyrant blade could our nation be saved. The emperor had received word that an enemy was coming to seize the Tyrant blade manual, a terrifying foe capable of slicing rivers with a single strike. So they had to find the chosen one before the enemy arrived. But after all the princes tried, none could make the meteorite glow with golden light. Only I was left, the one they all saw as worthless. But the crown prince said I was just a maid's son, not a real prince, and couldn't possibly be the chosen one. After getting my mother's permission, I stepped toward the Tyrant stone and drew out my woodcutting blade. The pressure it gave off made the grandmaster tremble. With one mighty swing, the Tyrant stone couldn't withstand the force. Just then the enemy descended from the skies. No one noticed the stone glowing with golden markings. Only the grandmaster saw it. The enemy showed no respect for the emperor, offering all martial techniques in exchange for the blade manual. If refused, he would slaughter the royal family with a wooden sword. Seeing his arrogance, the emperor sent out the strongest third prince, but sadly, he was no match at all. Soon he was lying wounded on the ground. The enemy even stepped on him, forcing the emperor to hand over the manual. But the third prince refused to surrender and charged once more. Watching the only brother who ever treated me like family about to die, I couldn't hold back and swung my blade. The enemy immediately wanted to fight the master of the Tyrant blade, but the grandmaster dared not let me appear just yet, because with only the first move, I was no match for him. He handed me the manual and told me to train by the meteorite in the back courtyard. He believed with my talent I could master the technique within an hour. While he bought me time, though old in age, his moves were still swift and smooth. He dodged and weaved like a young man, but even so, as time passed, his stamina began to wane, especially when it came to a battle of inner strength. The younger foe clearly had the upper hand. As expected, with one burst of inner power, the grandmaster was sent flying and spat out blood, with our strongest fighter defeated. The second prince actually knelt before the enemy, begging for his life. Such disgrace completely shamed the family. Meanwhile, my training had entered the right track, thanks to my talent and prior practice of the first strike. I progressed 100 times faster than